Hey, I'm going to show you exactly how to add in tap to text to an existing campaign. The easiest way to add tap to text to a campaign is always going to be grabbing a template and then using the email and SMS variation and then specifying tap to text, which will give you a template that's ready to go with tap to text already built into it. But if you have an existing campaign that maybe was phone input, email, and then phone input that you'd like to add in tap to text, the easiest way to do this is to duplicate this step, add in tap to text, and then we're going to set a conditional route on this button. So people on desktop will go to the phone input, and then people that are using their phone will get the tap to text. So let's go ahead and create that. So what I'm going to do here, we're running a split test. This is the winner. We are going to go ahead and duplicate this one, which will create a new draft. And then go ahead and give this a name. This is our new one. Tap to text. And then let's get rid of that original one that we don't want to be running anymore for the split test. And then so we'll have the circle design and then phone input versus the tap to text. So let's go in and start creating this tap to text campaign. Let's go do our phone step, and then we can label our steps here just to make things a bit easier. So phone input, this one, we've got email input. And then let's go ahead and duplicate our phone input step. I'm going to drag that up into here. And then let's also duplicate that follow-up step, bring that over to here. Amped should go ahead and pick the right order here. So when this one's closed, it's going to go to this follow-up step. And we want different follow-up steps because they're going to be different things. Let's just double check these button actions while we're here. It's going to the parent main step. And then for this button action as well, parent main step. So that's great. Then let's do, we've got two phone inputs. Let's set this one to be our tap to text. And then on our email input, let's go to the button and we're going to say, go to step, tap to text, only for devices of phone. And then we're going to say, go to step, phone input, only for tablet and desktop devices. We're going to include tablet there because it's not a sure thing that everyone on a tablet has their text hooked up, same as on desktop. It's not a sure thing that everyone's going to have text hooked up. So let's carry on here. When someone hits this button, they're either going to tap to text or phone input. If they come down here, this is our tap to text step. Now, the easiest way to create these tap to text buttons is to just go over to an existing template and grab one of these buttons that already exists, because some of these have an icon. Choose the template one that you like the most, and then we can start customizing. So I'm just going to copy that whole container. Make sure you grab the whole thing. I'm going to grab the tap to text container as a whole, and we're going to go over here. So we've got our primary CTA, which is that style. So I'm going to get rid of phone input on this one. We don't want to activate CTA. I'm just going to paste in that tap to text container. Let's put it inside of our form container. We had that. I think it might be too small. So let's actually just leave it on its own container. And then here, we're going to get rid of form container. And then here, since we have that primary CTA button group, we can use that. So that way that's a style. That way, if we change it anywhere else, we're going to get the same one. We've got our primary CTA copy, which is that source sans. So we want to bring that in, primary CTA copy. And then here, let's just set that to source sans pro to match. That's not a style. And then let's check our button actions. So button actions here are tap to text. We need to fill this in, reminder, and then we need to go to step. Since we copied it from somewhere else, that step doesn't exist. But when someone hits this tap to text, what's going to happen is we want to pre-fill that text message, which basically opens a new window. And then we're going to go ahead and take them to that confirmation step. And we can go and label that just so that we're clear. Steps in design. Here we've got confirmation step. So when someone hits this, it's going to open that pre-filled text message and go to the confirmation step. It's 10%. It was on 10% on the template. So this is looking good. Let's go ahead and get this to number and the pre-filled text message. Assuming we're using Klaviyo, the best way to do that is to go into your account, settings, SMS, and then you're going to have your number. Go ahead and copy your number. bring that over. That's our 2 number. We want to take out any extra characters. It's going to try to take out some of those characters, but just make sure that it's a +1 if it's US, or any other country code like +44 for the UK. So that's our 2 number. And then we need our pre-filled SMS number. Now this, you've kind of got your own way that you want to do this. If you have, what you're going to do is you come down to keyword management, and you're going to either use the existing keyword or create a new one. For us, we already have SMS subscribers as a list set up. We've got an automation set there. So let's use join. And a nice way that we can do this is to simply just use one of the pre-filled messages that we've got in our university. And you could just have it say, send this text to join and get your 10% off discount code. So that has the word join in it, which will trigger this keyword. So we've got this, we've got our confirmation step. This is actually saved. It saves every couple of seconds, auto save. And now we're all set up. So someone says, claim my code. This is going to take them to the next main step, which is here. If they close it, they're getting this. They're going over here. And remember, these are all using styles. So if we change any of these second chances, it's going to change the styles. And now we've just essentially created 2 alternate paths, one for phones, one for desktop and tablet. Of course, we want to test this out. Since the code snippet is on the site, you can do preview live on the site, or you can always preview locally, which takes a screenshot and then overlays the campaign on top of it. But since the code snippet is on the site, we can go ahead and load up that preview, and that tells us that we're seeing the preview. We can also go through it and just confirm. And we can send this to ourselves in maybe Slack or a text message to try it on our phones. Or you can, of course, emulate a phone if you're using Chrome. Just be sure that you have run that in a new incognito so that it knows your device type is iPhone, or you can test with Browser Stack, something like that. And then you can go through it and test it. And then, so now when we activate that 10% off, that's going to trigger our text, brings it up. If we were on a phone, that would go ahead and trigger that without, it would bring up your text, so you wouldn't see immediately the code. And then if you came back to the site, you'd have the code, and you could follow up with that reminder bar, how we have it here. Some clients are doing it where if you do the tap to text, you come down to the last step, and then maybe you want to encourage them to go ahead and tap to text again. That was one of the flows that we saw in some of the templates. So if we go back, we look at Knightsbridge. If we were to say that the SMS consent requires Y, and we wanted to do tap to text, let's take a look at how that might change this. This is sort of an extra mini lesson on this. But here we have activate 10% off, tap to text us for your code. And if you need to reply Y, then what you could do is check your text for your 10% off code, haven't sent the text yet, and give them another opportunity. That's a great way to do it, and you can grab that straight from the templates there. Okay, all right, now you are armed with how to create tap to text from scratch. But remember, best way to do this is just go ahead, go grab a template and customize it to the brand. Even this one's not far off. It looked great on the site. These are fully designed templates. So let us know how we can be helpful. If you need our team to check over anything, make sure it's looking good, or even suggestions on how to optimize or make this better, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you. Bye.